Awfully hot coffee pot. That's an awfully hot coffee pot. Should I dump it on Donald Trump? I want to cancel Eminem.
What? Gen Z's trying to what? Cancel Eminem. Gen Z's trying to cancel Eminem.
Gen Z's trying to what? Let me tell you something. I love that video. That video of that lady rapping is so great to me. Oh my god, because it's like such a one-sided beef, and I love that. I think people above 30 really defend Eminem, and they defend people like that, that have kind of gotten corny a lot because I feel like sometimes people see it as a reflection on them. Like if this thing that was popular when I was a kid and that I liked is now corny, then that must mean that I am now corny and I don't think I'm corny. So I'm going to blame it on the kids. I'm going to blame it on the younger generation. If you're watching this and you're over 30, calm down. I love you. I don't hate you. I'm going to be over 30 soon. Well, in like 10 years, but soon, dude. So like don't like take this with a grain of salt. Just take yourself out of this conversation. This isn't about you, okay? This is about a rapper who, like all artists, had his prime and is now past it. I'm not trying to cancel Eminem. I'm not like coming for you as a generation. I don't want any part of this super one-sided millennial versus Gen Z beef. I just have some opinions, all right? So I feel like I have this same conversation with Eminem fans, like Joyner Lucas fans, Hobson fans, all these guys who are like woke, like conscious rappers that spit bars, but they're like corny. And I'm like, okay, so this is the conversation every time. I'll be like, this is corny. And they're like, it's bars. He's got bars. He just has bars. He has bars. You do not have bars. Can you spit a freestyle? Can you spit a hot 16? Are you a good rapper? Oh, no, you're not. No, you're not. You can't spit bars. You can't spit bars. Bars. You don't. Okay, dude. Listen, being corny and having bars are two different things. You can have bars and still be corny, okay? How is it corny? Because you're talking about deep stuff, right? The bars actually mean something instead of just hoop-de-hoop, hop in the coop. All right, not to mention the subtle racism of hip-hop fans when I hear that criticism. I don't even want to touch that. But seriously, you know that you can talk about deep stuff and still be corny, right? Like it's the same reason that every time like Joe Rogan on the podcast goes like, "Hey, have you ever done DMT?" It's just like, "Oh my god." Like because like the conversation is just going to get stupid because it's not about the deep stuff that they're talking about. He's just into like talking about deep stuff. You know what I mean? When you're hanging out with your buddies and you're getting lifted. Let's just say you're getting lifted, okay, with your buddies. And there's that one guy who's like way too into the whole like when we're high we talk about deep stuff. So he's like, "What do you think about parallel universes?" And it's like, "Bro, I'm just trying to melt into the couch and play Call of Duty. Like I don't want to talk about this shit." And that's the same reason that I just groan when I hear someone say, "But he's talking about deep stuff." It's like, "No, I don't care. I don't want to hear it because here's the thing. Eminem is corny for a couple reasons and I just want to get into this. So, okay. The first reason you shouldn't really take Eminem seriously, or at least I think you shouldn't take him seriously, is the same reason that you shouldn't take me seriously when I criticize him. Why? Because white people will forever and always be a guest in the hip hop space. That includes Eminem, that includes every rapper, okay? And that includes myself, right? Because it is primarily a form of black expression. And this is not my like new idea, right? This is something that I've gotten from listening to black people, listening to a lot of different people, right? I know music is for everybody, okay? I know Eminem is a good rapper and he does good things and I'm not saying he's racist, okay? Relax. Stop typing. I'm not saying he's racist, okay? I'm just saying you have to treat the art form with some respect. Whether you like it or not, hip hop has always been a form of black expression. I was reading this article by someone named C. Valentina. I don't know much about this person. It's on a hip hop blog called finesseforever.com. I feel so white just saying that. You can find this article. I'll link it in the description. But yeah, this is what she said. Hip hop culture should not be a space where white rappers get to exercise their privilege. I am hopeful that white hip hop artists who inform themselves on these topics will become more conscious of how they participate in hip hop culture, ensuring that they are not perpetuating white supremacy, especially in places black people intended to escape from white supremacy. So am I saying that Eminem is a white supremacist? No, God. Relax. I'm not saying he's a white supremacist, okay? What I am saying is that it's not a new idea and it's a fairly well accepted idea that you should tread lightly as a white person in the hip hop space. I say that because Eminem is a person who benefits heavily from white privilege in the hip hop space and repeatedly fails to address that situation in a very good way. So I'll show you what I mean. I already know what you guys are gonna say. How does Eminem have white privilege? He's had a really hard life. What? How does he have white privilege? His mom stabbed him in the face, and he hates his mom, and he was homeless. Listen, I know Eminem's had a really hard life, okay, and I'm not trying to take that away from him, and I'm not saying that he hasn't struggled. And quite frankly, I feel very sorry for him and for those struggles that he had to go through, and it seems like it was very painful for him. I'm not gonna get into the whole intricacies of white privilege because I'm still trying to learn about that myself. And it just wouldn't really be right for me to talk like I'm an expert on white privilege when I'm so fucking blinded by it myself. But basically, he's never had to struggle because he's white. Yes, he has, because he was the first white rapper in the mainstream. So he has had to struggle because he was white, because they didn't take him seriously. Have you even seen 8 Mile? Clarence had some real nice parents, and Clarence goes to a private school. Honestly, the whole essence of that battle, like that battle was legendary, but the whole essence of that was so weird to me. It was like, I'm not privileged, he's privileged, because even though he's black, he goes to a private school, and they're just like, oh, and that's how he gets him. Like, that's just how he it's all like, you have a nice upbringing. Like, I got him. He was the first white rapper in the mainstream. He had to, he had to stand out. He had to make his way into a space where, yeah, people weren't necessarily ready for a white rapper. That's fine. Okay. I get that. Which is why in his early days, it was more acceptable for him to be like, y'all never seen a white person before, jaws on the floor, Pamela Bama, this Goldman a boy. You could make the argument, although I still think it's corny, but you could make the argument, right, that back in the day, he had to be all like, out there and crazy and like, y'all never seen a white person before, because he had to, like, address the fact that he's the first white rapper. He had to break the mold for everyone. Okay, fine. The fact is, no matter what, Eminem is still white. He's still white. He's always going to be white. He's going to be treated better by white label execs. He's probably treated better by cops. He's probably treated better by society in general, right? He doesn't have to be seen as like a thuggish rapper, right? He actually gets to be revered as an artist, as someone who's very smart and intelligent, as opposed to like someone like even as recently as Lil Nas X, which I'll probably talk about in a different video. But Lil Nas X was just called a thug. Lil Nas X, Lil Thug, whatever. Like, for what? He's not a thug in any way. Listen, I mean, obviously, we don't have to talk about how fucking messed up the connotations of the word thug are, but seriously, I mean, how in any way could you paint Lil Nas X as a thug? I'm more of a thug than Lil Nas X, and I'm not trying to sound hard, but like I've probably done more thuggish things in my lifetime than Lil Nas X has. He seems like such a sweet, wholesome guy. Like, he's not a thug. But because he's black, right? He has to endure that. He has to be called a thuggish rapper just because people don't like him. And Eminem will never face that. He has never faced that, and he will never face that. Okay? And it's like, now that Eminem has been rich for a significant amount of time, and those problems of his childhood, which I agree were very bad, those problems are kind of behind him in a way, right? So he's kind of been rich for long enough. It's like, what does he have left to be mad about? Well, I guess Donald Trump and white privilege are his two main targets nowadays, right? And MGK. So I looked up Eminem white privilege, and I found this really, really funny excerpt from one of his songs. I haven't even heard the song, but this shit is so funny. Like, okay, don't tell me about struggle, bitch. I lived it. I was 5 or 6 the first time I got my hind end kicked. I hate Eminem's rhyme schemes, but whatever. Let's not get into that. Got my hind end kicked. Malcolm, Isaac, and Buggy jumped me and took my tricycle. And I don't know if I would call that white privilege. Yeah, but I get it. Wait, oh, he gets it. I know how it feels to be judged by pigment. Okay, Eminem, dog, you don't know how it feels. Okay, you know how it feels to experience like a prejudice, right? The assumption that like because you're white, you can't rap. Yeah, or because you're white, you're a bitch or something. Whatever, dude. You've you've been judged by your pigment, I guess, right? But you're never going to experience racism. You're not going to experience systemic racism. I mean, come on, dude. You know this. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me that to say that you don't have privilege, that you had to go all the way back to your childhood to when some kids jumped you and stole your bike. Like, I'm sorry, that sucks that that happened. I'm sorry, but that doesn't mean that you don't have white privilege. I'm sorry. Dude, I've been jumped and kids have stole shit from me. That similar scenario has happened to me before, okay? I'm not going to get into too many details. In the past, I have as a white person ran into that privilege wall where you don't really see through it, right? You just think like, okay, so some kids have jumped me and taken shit from me and treated me like shit. And you want to say I have white privilege, right? I get that feeling. I know what that feeling is. And I know a lot of white hip hop heads have that feeling. And then just like, how could you say I have white privilege? I live in a trailer park. It's like, yeah, I know. That's hard. And you might not have the privilege of having wealth. You might not have the privilege of having a good social standing. Okay? But you will always have the privilege of your skin color, and that's just a fact. You have the privilege of not being judged certain ways in certain spaces. But like I said, as a white hip hop head, I'm gonna always be a guest in the hip hop space. So I want to take this opportunity to show you some black voices who are kind of addressing a similar problem with Eminem.
Next snippet that we have for you, this is him discussing being embarrassed about being white.
As I kick these facts and get these mixed reactions, as this beat backspins, it's like we're drifting back into the 60s. Having black skin is risky.
Oh my god, bro. It's so corny. Do I even need to say this? Like, seriously, come on, guys. How is this not corny? His flow isn't even good. He's rhyming things and he's saying deep shit. This goes back to what I was saying in the beginning. You can rhyme things, you can say deep shit, and he can still be fucking corny. He's still corny. Oh my god, he's still corny. He's still corny. But wait for this part though. This is my favorite part.
Because this keeps happening.
Yo. Throughout history, African Americans
have been treated like ish, and I admit there have been times where it's been embarrassing to be a white boy.
White boy. Okay. All right. So, yes, Eminem, you're right. No, thank you for addressing it. Throughout history, African Americans have been treated like shit. That is true. Throughout history, African Americans have been treated like shit. Ding. Yes. There you go. Got that one right. Good job, Eminem. How about let's listen to Boyce Watkins. This guy, Boyce Watkins, is an author, an economist, political analyst, and social commentator.
And to me, I think that Eminem, to some extent, is a little bit of a product of white privilege for two reasons. One, he does get a little bit of that Elvis effect. When you're a white rapper, you're as good as the black guy. People are going to love you more because you're white. Same thing, Larry Bird. A lot of black guys were good too, but Larry Bird got some extra because he was white. Well, I think Eminem does get that Elvis effect. Which it is what it is. I mean, a lot of the fans of hip hop are white, so it's a natural thing.
So far, what he's saying is he gets a little extra shine because he's white. We can get deep into why a lot of white hip hop fans like him the most. But let's not. Why don't we? Because we know. And like he said with Elvis, right? Elvis was the same thing. He took a lot of art from black musicians and performed it on a mainstream stage for a white audience, and white people were blown away because they'd never heard it before. Well, black artists have been doing it for years. So it's kind of the same with Eminem. It's a lot of white people's first introduction to hip hop. It's funny. I was actually talking to a friend of mine the other day, and we just were talking coincidentally. I was like, yeah, I remember actually the first time I listened to rap, there was like an Eminem CD. And he was like, yeah, my first rap CD was an Eminem CD too. Like, oh shit, dude. Is every white person's first rap CD an Eminem CD? Like, yikes.
Something that a lot of black artists don't get. He gets to be a pure and true artist. Eminem, if you listen to his music, he raps about everything that's in his soul and in his spirit. He talks about getting high on drugs. He talks about wanting to kill his relatives. He talks about wanting to kill himself. He talks about whatever. And to me, I see that as true art because to me, art is something that should come from your soul.
He's getting into a whole thing, but basically, you get the point. Eminem gets to explore his art a little more because he's white. Lastly, I want to check in with Talib Kweli. Talib Kweli is a very respected rapper. You might know him from Black Star or just various other projects. He's a great rapper. Let's ask him.
This country is still built on racism. That'll never change unless we tear it down and start over. So, white privilege is a real thing, and especially white male privilege is a real thing. I have male privilege as a black male, but I don't have white male privilege. When Black Star was, we did a show in Brooklyn, Vermont years ago, and Eminem was scheduled to open up for us. In the time that we booked the show, to the time the show actually happened, Slim Shady dropped, and Eminem was on the cover of Rolling Stone with blonde hair. I'd never seen a hip hop artist, and I know Eminem. Like I've seen Eminem battle on the street. I've seen people run up to Eminem and battle him on Broadway. Like, you white boy, you ain't got. And I've seen Eminem eat motherfuckers. Like, so I never questioned his integrity, but I've never seen a rapper go be on the cover of Rolling Stone that quickly. I had never seen that. And I knew, I was like, that's because he's the white boy.
Right.
And he has the blonde hair now, and like it's like, oh.
So you see what Talib Kweli is getting at, right? Is that it's not that he doesn't have skill. It's not that he doesn't have talent, right? He earned all those things that he got. Yes. But Talib Kweli, an established rapper at the time, is saying, I had never seen a rapper on the cover of Rolling Stone that fast. Because he was the white boy. It makes total sense. In a country built on white supremacy, built on Elvis and artists like that, taking the black sound and bringing it to a mainstream white audience, of course Eminem is going to get more recognition by virtue of him being white. We just have to acknowledge that. It doesn't mean that he's bad. It doesn't mean that he's racist. We just have to acknowledge that. And I feel like even Eminem hasn't acknowledged that. Okay, so to end this video, that brings me to what started this conversation, okay? I told you I was talking to a close friend about Eminem. What started this conversation is the awfully hot coffee pot. The infamous, all right? That's an awfully hot coffee pot. Trash. Trash, absolute trash. But I'm going to break it down line by line, so let's go.
That's an awfully hot coffee pot. Should I drop it on Donald Trump? Probably not, but that's all I got till I come up with a solid.
I was looking at the Genius page with Rap Genius is just full of fucking white hip hop heads that think they know everything. But I was looking at the Genius page to see what the fuck he meant by the awfully hot coffee pot thing. If there was anything, because to me it was just like, why would you ever open with that? That seems like the worst opening line. I know this has been memed to death, and this is such an old meme, but like, bro, come on. This is the Genius breakdown. This is the Rap Genius breakdown. Eminem's invoking the idiom, wake up and smell the coffee, which is when someone realizes they're wrong because they become aware of reality. He may be intentionally spitting bad lines to mock rappers who can't freestyle, similar to how he opened his 2011 freestyle. Lyrical, miracle, spiritual, individual, criminal. Okay, this is part of Eminem's privilege, right? This is part of Eminem's privilege as a white rapper, is that when he says something like this, he gets to have it analyzed as he was doing this on purpose to mock bad rappers. Oh, he was invoking this metaphor. They're like projecting this supposed intelligence on Eminem. But you never see that for someone like Gucci Mane, right? Who is seen as this thuggish street rapper, right? All these fucking, racist undertones thrown at him, right? Eminem and Gucci Mane have very different backgrounds, but if you boil it down, it's a similar story, right? Drugs, violence, life of crime, family issues, not having a dad in the picture, stuff like that, right? They make very different music, that's true. But Gucci Mane has also been extremely prolific, will go down in history as someone who will be remembered for what, influences that he had on the rap game. But he's just not given this same supposed intelligence, right? He's not given this same respect. He's just not.
Got a plan and now I got a hatchet like a damn Apache with a tomahawk. I'ma walk inside a mosque on Ramadan and say a prayer that every time talks.
Okay, so I don't know. This just struck me as weird with the I'ma walk inside a mosque on Ramadan. Like, it's weird. It's just weird. Also, like, he's gonna commit violence against Yvonne. No, he's not gonna say it. He's not gonna say it. He's gonna stop.
But we better give Obama props, because what we got in office now's a kamikaze that'll probably cause a nuclear holocaust. And while the drama pops and he waits for shit to quiet down, he'll just gas his plane up and fly around till the bombing stops.
All right, look. I'm not gonna lie, that's a good line, right? That part where he says, where the bombing stops. Like, he put some emphasis on that. It was cool. All right? I'll admit it. That line was kind of cool, okay? I'll give y'all that one. He's flying around until the bombing stops. But again, okay, so like I'm gonna get into another reason why I think Eminem is corny. And this particular video is corny because like you're going after Donald Trump, and you'll see we'll get into more of this. He's going after Donald Trump like you're a rich white man. It's like you have to be somewhat aware of this, right? Like this is why it's so corny and weird for white celebrities to constantly be shitting on Donald Trump. You're still benefiting and profiting from every single thing that Donald Trump does because everything he's doing for the rich white men, right? You understand? Donald Trump is in there for the rich white men, and he's doing everything for the rich white men, and you are a rich white man. So to act like he's coming down on you and you're like, man, fuck you, man. You're making our lives so hard. He's not making your life hard, Eminem. He's making your life easier, if anything. So it's not that you can't criticize Donald Trump if you're rich and white. It's just that, you should have a certain amount of self-awareness.
Intensity's heightened, tensions are rising. Trump, when it comes to giving a shit, you're stingy as I am. Except when it comes to having the balls to go against me, you hide them.
Okay. Okay, this is my favorite part because, like, you think Donald Trump's gonna, like, drop a diss track back at you? Like, Trump, this is my other issue with this. Trump is probably the easiest person that you could possibly diss. He's the president of the United States. Everyone hates him. Everyone fucking hates this guy. And what is Trump gonna do? Drop a diss back at you? I would love to see that, actually. Donald Trump is just like, turn me up in the headphones. I'm about to go in. This is a certified hood classic.
Because you don't got the nuts like an empty asylum.
Like an empty asylum. Bars.
Racism's the only thing he's fantastic for. Because that's how he gets his rocks off, and he's
orange. Okay, dude, come on, man. What the fuck? What is this, dude? Or is that really a bar? Are we gonna give that to him? We're gonna say that's a bar. Come on, honestly, tell me from the bottom of your heart that you think that's a bar. Racism, the only thing he's fantastic for, because that's how he gets his rocks off, and he's orange. Like, come on.
Yeah, sick tan. That's why he wants us to disband, because he cannot withstand the fact we're not afraid of Trump.
We're not afraid of Trump. Like, Eminem, you have no reason to be afraid of Trump. A Muslim person, a gay person, a trans person, a Mexican person, these are all people. Even a white woman has a reason to be afraid of Trump. Why would you be afraid of him? He probably fucking bumps your music, dude. He's probably losing himself in the music the moment as we speak, bro. Like, he's your biggest fucking fan. What do you mean you're afraid of Trump, dude? Eminem, you should have stopped rapping in like 2010, bro. You had some classics. You did your thing, and no one can ever take that away from you. And I will never try to take that away from you. But come on, man, enough. Like, we don't need any more Eminem songs. We don't need to, we're not looking for your opinion on things. Just accept that your day is over. And stop trying to be part of the rap game because it's moved on without you. And that's the story of how everyone went and forgot about Z. So, I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Fuck it. I'm done.